All right, everyone. Hi, this is Jihan, Crown Diamond Jihan Thomas, here with Diamond Pamela Rich from Young Living. We are back for lesson 2 of Young Living Business School. And both of us were sitting here talking. We cannot believe the response just from lesson 1. We're so thrilled to be able to teach some of the things that we've learned over time that has helped us with our businesses, not just in Young Living. Obviously, we've reached the top ranks in Young Living, but also we've been successful outside of Young Living. And we wanted to bring some of those strategies, tips, ideas, all that to you, especially if you're first starting out, or maybe you got to a place where you feel kind of stuck and you're not really sure how to move forward in your business. We're hoping that this kind of reinvigorates you and gives you some ideas on how you could move forward. So thank you for joining us again. Today, we want to talk about how to make a schedule, right? How do you create a schedule so that you could thrive in your business? How do you a lot of people don't want to have schedules. They think the promise of having your own business is that you don't have to have a schedule and you could just kind of wing it as you go along. Well, that's kind of the same idea to me. When I first went into business for the first time, when I was 22, I remember somebody saying to me, it just giving me a little piece of advice of what's going to come or objections that might come. They said, when you go into business, people think that means that you someone, you open your door and someone shovels money into it, right? Like, that's like people's viewpoints of this. I came to learn that's exactly what people think. They think, okay, you go into business and somebody's just going to open your door and shovel money into it.
That would be nice.
That would be nice, right? It doesn't happen that way. So I have a schedule that I work off of. What's really great about it is I could adjust the schedule. I could take off whenever I want to, but when I'm working, I want to be efficient and I want to be productive. And that's what a schedule does for me. So I do go to work. I do work every day. I have working hours. And most importantly, and I'm wondering where you're at with this, Pam, too. Did you identify your thriving hours, like the hours that you could bang out the most amount of work with the most creativity, the most ideas, and in the shortest amount of time? Have you built out your thriving hours?
Yes. So it's been an interesting path. Like, I'll just share, because originally when I went into business for myself over 20 years ago, I was resistant to having a schedule. Right? Like, the first thing I did was I gave myself days off, and but it was that transitional time, right? Because I went full throttle, employee, entrepreneur, like no safety net here. But what I found was over time, my thriving hours have shifted. I will say that. I used to be able to create websites, do all of that, like creative, like making email campaigns and all of those types of things very late at night. Quiet hours is what I noticed it was. It was when the rest of the world, there wasn't so much happening. Those were my thriving hours. Now, my thriving hours for that are more early morning and also late afternoon. I just find these 2 pockets of time. I can sit down, create, not a lot of interruptions. I've put a lot of boundaries around what I'm doing when and what I'm responding to when, which I know you're really good at.
I am really into that. Really into again, that efficiency part, because like when I'm doing something, I put on that focus thing or like the do not disturb or whatever, and do it during that time. I was trained by eMyth, the eMyth company.
Oh, yeah, I know it. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and I remember a lot of the exercises we had to go through. One in particular, we had to go through a lot. It was every week for a year, but I remember one thing in particular, the exercise was finding your thriving hours. And it was really more about how much time you waste in a day. And it was found that if any distraction you have, it takes like 15 minutes just to get back into doing what you're doing. And they found that productivity was really only about 15 minutes per hour if you really assessed it. This was shocking. So we had to go through. So here's a first task for you guys, right? Here's an action step for you, is we had to go through our day and just write down what we did during that time. Like every minute of every day. It was so tedious. I only did it for a week, right? It was really tedious, but whoa, like, whoa. And just like you, my thriving hours shifted. because the stage of my life shifted. I had babies. So while I would have loved to have been very attentive in the early morning, I had to be attentive to my babies in the early morning. So I couldn't do that. I had to use later in the afternoon or evening during the quiet hours. The key is the quiet hours, or the quiet hours, right?
I think that's the ticket.
That's the key. For me, I don't do well later in the day because I'm up so early. So now that my kids are older and they sleep in or whatever, I'm up really early.
We just have to give your model actually has to be like hours, not the actual days of time, because you're up so incredibly early that we just need to move that a little bit. Like just, you know what I'm saying? Like map that out and then move it a little bit.
I looked at what time I responded. I looked at what time I responded to you this morning. I think it was like 4:11.
Since we've been hanging out, I'm waking up so much earlier, and I know that it's you. I'm like, oh, let me get this rolling. I gotta get up.
Oh my gosh, it's so funny. But yes, and the reason why, by the way, I just think better in the morning. I like the quiet time before the sun comes up or right as the sun's coming up. It's really quiet. And for this fiery Leo, I need to have that balance. I need to have that downtime because otherwise I will feed off the energy. It's what I love about Manhattan, right? I just feed off the energy. But I can't be in that energy 24/7. You get burnout. You hear a lot of people talk about things like adrenal fatigue or like just an overall fatiguing type of thing. And I think if there was an adjustment to their rhythm, to their circadian rhythm, even, they would probably find that they feel a lot better. They just don't get that downtime, that space. So they create it during times in the middle of the day, rather than if you just shifted your schedule, you wouldn't have to go so long, then burn out, then take a break, then go so long, burn out, take a break. It's really the daily rhythm that will make most of the difference. So for me, yes, I am up very early, but I also found, first of all, I need my space, my time. I need to get creative. I need to be able to think. I need it to be quiet. But I also could get most of my work done before 8 a.m. around there. And then it'll take me the rest of the day whenever I stop working, which is like mid-afternoonish, right? It takes me the rest of the day to do the same amount of work.
Well, there's a study actually that says a task will take as long as you leave the time for. So I know everybody watching today can relate to this. Like, have you ever said, I'm going to go clean out that closet? Now, it could take you all day long to clean out that closet. It could take you all weekend long, like just realistically, to clean out one closet.
Right.
Now, if you had half an hour on the clock to go clean that closet and you had a hard stop because company was coming or whatever, you would have that done in that amount of time. And it's something that I studied, and this is an actual study. And I studied that early on in my career as an entrepreneur because I was fascinated by it. So I would actually play with myself, and some days were a little bit looser with the schedule. It would take me all day long to get stuff done. But when I have it mapped out in a nice, clean, concise boundaries, I found that not only did I get more done, this is why you ask a busy person to do something. I don't want to work with the person who tells me I have all day long to build the business, because you know what I know? They're not going to do a thing.
Not going to do it.
They're going to sit on social media and waste a boatload of time.
Or they're going to clean their office.
They're going to clean the refrigerator. They're going to go 14 snacks.
Yeah.
They're going to have like these exotic drinks all day long. This is my exotic drink out of the bottle, you know, like
yeah.
Get stuff done, like get the job done. And yeah, so the amount of time that you leave for a task is how long it's going to take you. Think about how much somebody gets done when they're working in a business. They're going in, they're clocking out, whatever that job is. There's an incredible amount of stuff that they get done in a day, but yet they might clock into their own business. And because it's so loose and it's so comfortable, and I don't know where all of this comes from, you know, I wasn't told that building a business was going to be like willy-nilly puppies and rainbows. Like I knew building a business was going to be work.
Yeah.
You know, that it was going to take time and focus and resources. But I knew it was going to create the financial And more importantly, the time flexibility. It was like really my thing. But the hard lesson I had to learn in business is that the more structure I create around building my business, the more time freedom I have. Like I was so resistant to it in the beginning. I was just the rebel. I was like, no, I want to have all day. All day just took me all day and not as much got done. Focus, time, but healthy boundaries around that allows me the time to do my passions, do my hobbies, be with my family, and to always be where I am with whatever I'm doing. So when I'm working, I'm working. When I'm doing a particular type of task, I'm doing that task. When I'm doing social media, I'm creating those reels, I'm creating those posts, I'm creating, those graphics, batching it, not just for today, maybe for days. Then I put that down and then I'll go to emails. Then I'll put that down, then I'll go. And like you said, Jihan, the shorter amounts of time just make me move through it that much faster. So I can get to the beach and the pool.
That's the reward.
And I might do a little social media from there too.
Well, it's having a reward-based day and having a reward-based life, right? So I want to have those rewards. I want to know that if I get this done at this time, if I have this amount of work I want to get done, I have a program I use, by the way, that's helpful is called Notion. It's free. So I use this to help me organize the tasks that I have to do, and I can move them.
I'm writing that down.
Notion, right? It's great. And I'll put the link up here too, so people could follow it. But, I follow Notion and I have all my stuff there and it sits up on my desk and it's also on my phone so that I know, okay, these are the things, and then you could move them around. So I put the things like I put all the things that I need to do, or I think I need to do. And then I put them in order of priority to know how I'm going to feel at the end of the day. And some things, of course, could be left to the next day. If it rolls over, but it's there. And then I know I need to get it done. And time sensitive stuff I put towards the top, and not just time sensitive. Sometimes there's things I'm like, if I get this task done, it'll be so hugely relieving that it's worth it. It's worth it for me to do that. But my goal is, by the time I get to lunch, because by the way, I'm scheduled in my food also. I'm scheduled when I eat. I'm very much a rhythm person. I want my digestion to be rhythmic. I want my sleep to be rhythmic. I want all these, and I want a lot of time to play. So I could get all this done by mid-afternoon, sometimes early afternoon, sometimes by lunch, I'm finished with everything that I really needed to do. I could go to the beach. I could go play golf. I could go just hang out with my kids. I could be in my food forest. There's like a million other things. And for a lot of people, they're not even getting themselves up and around until about lunchtime. And then they're spending I want light hours where I could just have fun and do that. So my reward to get to that is get all this other stuff done so that I could do that. Now, as an additional reward, one of the things I teach in my club is, count your wins. So build your day from success to success, and build your success from vacation to vacation. So I'm very much into, okay, what's then the bigger reward? How much can you get done before this particular time you're going away? Well, I'm going away soon. So I know things that need to get done before I go away so that it's automated while I'm away. So I then schedule that in, not like, oh, I'm going away. Well, you know what? I deserve this vacation. And I don't want to worry when I'm on vacation. I want to know that my business is automated, running efficiently, and it just keeps on going. So we have a lot of tools, especially in today's day and age. We have a lot of tools that we could do things ahead of time and have it still run as a company. And if you don't follow, by the way, on social media, especially things like Twitter, put in a keyword, solopreneur. Okay. This is like one of the greatest things you could do, because presumably you don't have a whole staff, right? You're just starting out. You're trying to figure out how to juggle all the things. So you have entrepreneurs, right? Which we're entrepreneurs. And you have something a little more niche called a solopreneur, meaning you're not hiring staff. You're doing it yourself. So how do you do these things efficiently? Most people in network marketing are solopreneurs, right? And are really terrible at being efficient and productive. So you have to start learning the tools and studying the tools that you could tap into You know, and sometimes it's just a matter of like, okay, I'm going to do it and figure it out along the way, but I know I need to do it. I know I need to take the step
And
to do it.
I think that brings such a great point, Jahan, because, you know, as you go into business for yourself, as you're creating a business for yourself, you need to start shifting the circle. We touched on this in lesson 1 about really auditing your circle. And it's also about enhancing your circle. So your social media feed should certainly change. Those books you're reading, those podcasts you're listening to, the actual social media that you're seeing. I mean, all of those influences that are coming in, you want it to be a particular caliber of information that you're taking in. You don't want to be taking information from people who aren't making money about making money. I can tell you that, because all they're doing is making money over you.
Right.
You know, follow people that actually are having the success, that are actually up to things, that you're seeing results from, you know, that you're taking and take away the golden nugget in what they're sharing. You know, it might not be the entirety of a body of work or the entirety of a book, but I can guarantee you that from most of the best books that are being recommended to you, you will find that golden nugget in there that you can walk away with and, you know, employ in your business, right? Like, because you do get to design your business your way. Like you're going to be getting out there, and a big part of our messaging together and why we want to empower people to really own their businesses and to be them and to get out there and shine as they are is because, you know, there's a uniqueness about the way that you're going to share things, and the world needs to hear that. They need you. And we're going to do a straight talk on this topic because we are so passionate. This is such a core value in our business school here, you know, our Young Living business. This is really what we see, not cookie cutters, but you being you and sharing you. So take those golden nuggets that resonate with you and put them into practice as you, and you'll see the world respond to you.
Being able to shine. So one thing you brought up, and I love this when we were chatting, you were talking about, and you know, I agree with this. How many people leave their jobs too soon, or don't know what exactly to invest in? Should they be? You hear people in Young Living saying, whether it's them or their spouse saying, you know, you shouldn't put anything into this. You're not making any money yet. It's a very backwards misunderstanding of how economics works, but certainly how to build a business.
Certainly how business works.
There's a very backwards way of looking at how business works. So what is your thought? What is your advice?
Yeah, I've coached a lot on this because here's the blessing and the curse, if you will, of our business. It is so inexpensive to get started. And that even within that, it's double-edged. I mean, $35 you could get a business kit, right?
$30
you could get 30. Yeah, like it's unheard of, and you could like literally start earning. And then you have, you know, all of the things that go with business, right? But the problem with that is that you still have to have the buy-in into your business. You still have to have the attitude. You still have to have the desire to create and to actually build. People don't take their businesses seriously because it's so inexpensive to start up. That's what I say. That's what I definitely see that. It's
they have nothing to lose. They have nothing to lose.
They have nothing to lose. It's not even a dinner out. Like think about it. Think about what this actually is. So you have to muster up, and you have to, you know, come in with that desire and that structure that you're actually building. And listen, don't quit your job. Do not quit your job. You have children to feed, you have houses to keep, you have, you know, rent to pay, you have electricity, you know, you got to put gas in your car and food on your table. No one is telling you to like start this business and quit your job. Why would you put that type of pressure on your business? It makes zero sense. You've got a paycheck coming in, whether it's part-time, full-time, maybe you're a practitioner, maybe you're a yoga teacher, maybe you're a massage therapist, you know, all the different ways that you could be earning income. Don't stop that. Keep that income coming in so that, but here's what I would say. If you're punching a clock somewhere for somebody else, building somebody else's dream, you could probably take a little bit of your attention off of that to put more of your creative energy into building your own business. So again, we talked about on lesson 1, I hope you guys saw that, about the quadrant and about being an employee. And we talked about straddling the quadrants and putting your foot into investor and entrepreneur, right? Business owner. So you want to be putting most of your focus into your business, but you may still be putting hours into your job. And that's
okay. Just what it takes.
That's okay.
It's okay. It's just what it takes.
Yeah. You want to be investing in your business, and you need to know, even within the tax structure, we haven't touched on this at all. We haven't even talked about this, but
we'll do that in a future thing.
Yeah, in a future one, we're going to talk about why you have to have this business.
Yes.
If you're making money, you need a home-based business. You don't know all of the perks of write-offs, like the taxes, all of the benefits there. We're not financial advisors, but we are business owners and can talk about the advantages of that. But here's the thing. You want to be investing in your business. You want to be investing in yourself, but you cannot be spending all your time going, well, I'm doing my mindset work today. You have to do your mindset work every day.
That's a given. We don't even need announcements.
You have to be building your business, invest in building your business so that you can create that life and that all those seeds you're planting in your mindset actually can come to fruition. They're not going to grow and blossom and bloom if that's all you're doing. You have to find this balance. Again, like Jihan's talking about, finding the balance to your day so that stuff is actually happening, activity, and you're moving forward, but finding balance in, that attention of focus. Put your energy into your business more than the job. If you want the business to grow and be something substantial in your life.
I have a quick thought about mindset work too for people. And it's just the world according to Jihan. Okay. But I find a lot of people do mindset work within their comfort level and then consider themselves very enlightened but I don't know, they come up with all these words. It's it's kind of funny. And I'm sorry if that comes across as judgmental, but it comes across for me as funny because for me, and if I could offer some advice too, especially in this realm, if you're not doing things that really challenge you and almost put you into a mind mess, are you really doing the work? You need to stretch. Growth is uncomfortable. If you're not uncomfortable, you're probably not in a growth state.
I just did a post about this morning.
Did you? Yeah, because and I'm saying this, I'm saying the world according to Jihan, but I've had some of the greatest business mentors that if you sat there and said, you do mindset work, they'd be like, what are you even talking about? Yet if they were to tell you what their day looks like, you could pinpoint when they were doing their mindset work. They just don't have a word for it because it's so normal. It's so that's just what gets done, whereas you have a whole sect of people that are like, I'm going to just do my mindset work, or they're doing nothing at all. And neither of that works. Okay. You need to do things that are going to challenge and stretch your mind and make you uncomfortable, because one thing that is absolutely guaranteed in your growth, whether it's here or in anything else you are doing, it will be uncomfortable. It will be. You have to be prepared mentally, sometimes physically, right, to handle the kind of discomfort that comes with growth. We say all of this, it almost sounds like the downside. Some of you might be like, what, why is this, is it even worth it? I can't emphasize enough how worth it is, because the other side of those hills or mountains or whatever they feel like to you, maybe it's Mount Everest, maybe it's Mars, right? But the other side of it is so worth it, because everything you were promised by coming does exist on the other side of that. And I don't mean in Young Living, I mean in business, right? Yeah. Those things do exist on the other side, but you got to be willing to go through it. And it's okay if you're not. It really is. But we're trying to get you with this business school, get you to be realistic with your expectations. right? And then to change your expectations if necessary. So that's really more of the point.
Yeah, I find, Jahan, that one of the important things going back to like scheduling your day, you know, to thrive is that I encourage all business owners, all people, I encourage everybody, but particularly because we're talking about business, to have at least 15 minutes a day where they are reading, like a focus, they're engaged, they're like, this is the practice of what I'm doing right now to grow my thinking, to grow my knowledge base. Like, you know, leaders are readers. So if you don't have at least a book on your shelf that you're reading, you might be like me and have 5.
Right. I was gonna say I have several.
At least.
And I do 10 pages a day. So very similar. I do 10 pages a day. Sometimes you read more, but I know I need to do something. I know.
Because we have to be feeding this, but we have to be keeping it sharp. We have to be keeping engaged in the conversation. Again, it's all about all of the things that we're taking in from all the ways our circle feeds us into being that empowered business owner.
So I'd like to give them another tool that we use.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm going to share my screen here. Kind of switching gears just a touch. I'd like to give you a tool. I believe that here we're here.
This is kind of the format that we're going to be doing, a little bit of, you know, training and then a practical logistical thing that you can actually do.
Yep. And this tool is Life Steps, and you could get it. This is the website for it, but there's an app you get right on your phone. I use both. They're the same. Okay. You could just, you know, toggle whatever works for you. I mostly, when I'm pulling content, I use the phone to do that, but this is such a fabulous resource. It is free for your customers. Okay. And even for you, if you wanted to, where you'll get some more product content, all that stuff. It's fantastic. I use the pro version of it, which is, again, ridiculously cost effective and a write-off for your business. So it is great. And the pro version gives you some extra features, like say, growing your business face-to-face, different tools that you could use. You even get a website, you know, out of this too, if you wanted to use that as a website, although I tend to use Young Living's website right now, okay, because I make bundles and whatnot. But here, look, if you wanted to talk about different, you know.
Well, you make the wish list that we talked about and trained on in lesson 1.
Right. Look at all the stuff they have. And I mean, there's like tons of things that you could do. You could do a search for, say you wanted to do a post up on Linktr, right? And this is what we're trying to tell you. You pull this here from here where you could then do content. Okay. This is a great place, Nitro. Oh my gosh. Right. You could get, I'm so happy it's back. Anyway, one of my favorite products here. So if you wanted to teach about Nitro, not only do you get images, but you could also get, little write-ups about what it is. You could add your own write-ups. I often change it just so that it's more personal to me and grab some key things, but you have downloadable images that you could use on social media. So basically we're talking about how, you know, having content, right? Here's your ability to have content. Here's again, more images. If you looked at this in the app, which let me see if it pulls up on here. Oh, it's not going to pull up on here, but if you looked at it in the app, you would see a whole write-up on it as well. And you could, again, grab that and be able to share. It's a simple way for you to be able to have social media content. So one of your tasks is to go to the App Store and download Life Steps app. It will look like this right here. Okay. Download the Life Steps app and make a post. Don't just sit there and say, well, I'm going to take time then to look at it. You have to go into immediate action. Okay. So there you go. Pam showing you here. Yep. You are going to grab this app, go in there, go look at content and post something. Now, in the future, you don't necessarily want to be so haphazard in doing that, right? You want to come up and we'll talk about how to form a campaign around something. We're not going to do that today, but we're going to teach you how to form a campaign around something. For right now, just get used to it, okay? Just go in, play with it, grab an image, post something up in whatever social media platform you might be using. They have things for Instagram stories. They have stuff for Facebook. You could certainly take images and make shorter things or threads for Twitter. Maybe it'll give you an idea to say, hey, I'm going to make a YouTube video about this product that I love. And you just needed to jog your memory about even, loving it. So I often go to Life Steps just so that I could get ideas for things that I want to do, or maybe a campaign that I want to build around. So make sure that you download that app. Make sure you also if you have a team, tell your teams about it. Let them know that it exists. Again, for your customers, it is free. It's free. If you decide to upgrade to the pro version, it is very inexpensive to do that. And you get even more content and more even business training. You don't have to just listen to Pam and I. There's plenty of people in there talking about things that they're strong at, and they're sharing that information right there in that app for you. So I think it's an excellent tool.
I love Life Steps, and we use it all the time. One of the other features in there that I love to use, and that you can use this if you're like talking to somebody new, and it's like, well, which way are we going to go with this conversation? They have a wellness assessment, and then it pops up a special bundle that will address based on their responses. So this is a way that I've gotten my team to download the app. The free app is to say, hey, go in and take the wellness assessment. Tell me what you got. Simple as that. Like, tell me your results, right? And that gets it on their phone. And then it gets them getting like a nice drip of information, and education. And isn't that one of the challenges that, we ask ourselves, like, how am I going to continually educate my prospects and my customers and my team members? Well, the Life Steps app can literally do that for you, because it will text them or email them, like whatever they decide how they want to get information. So the wellness assessment, I find, is just amazing. It gives them a box, a pre-made kind of a bundle, if you will, that they can choose to order or not.
I love these spotlights. I forgot about the wellness assessment. I love these spotlights. Like I was talking about Nitro here. You could use one of the other images, and then you could just pull from here. There's now a Ningxia green spotlight, which, as you know, is new. Golden turmeric. Yeah. I mean, there's just so much. Maybe you want to share some recipes with people. Like, I mean, the content in here is endless. You want the easy button, however you could get most efficient. That's what's going to free your time up, is getting most efficient, most productive during your thriving hours. Now, your thriving hours might be a thriving hour. If that's the case, regardless of what time, no distractions. For me, and this is what Pam was referring to before, and she says she does this herself. When I answer text messages, I do them in blocks. When I answer email, I do it in blocks. When I'm going to go on social media, it's in a block. I don't sit there and say, oh, I'm on social media, but someone just texted me, and then I have to go do here. You lose so much time. You can't think clearly enough to complete a task. So it starts to stretch the time out. That's how you lose time. If you're doing this, like Pam said, her primary motivation is time freedom. I think a lot of people would agree with that, right? We want this time freedom. So you have to train yourself how to work within the parameters to give yourself that time freedom. Or you could make more money and be busier than ever and never get that time freedom, because then you go into management mode, right? So getting these habits early on is going to be important. This has nothing to do with money. This has to do with habits, because you hear mo money, mo problems, right? There's a lot of people I know. I did this when I first built to executive, in fact, way back when. I had not done this well, right? I had not done this very efficiently. I got to executive very fast. I got to silver very fast. There's a different comp plan at that time, but I did everything very, very fast. And then I didn't want to do it. It was eating up so much of my time. I had babies. I had another career. I was like, this is not worth it. Was I making money? Yeah, I was making more money. But I'm like, there's got to be a better way, because this sucked even more of my time up. This is not fun for me. This is not what I was hoping for. Right. When I shifted how I do everything now, my company is gigantic. I have multiple companies that I do, and I have a lot of time that I get to spend with I take weekends off. I do all these things, which I've done for years. I look more traditional in how I'm doing it, which of course was not the way most people wanted. But the time freedom means that I'm going to take off for the rest of the afternoon because I want to, or I'm going to go for a massage in the morning, or I'm going to go do this, or I'm going to go do that. I get to make those choices. That's where the time freedom comes in. I don't have to ask anyone's permission to do that. But during working time, I work because I want to continue to thrive. I try to work efficiently because I want to continue to thrive. I don't want to be in management mode. I don't want to manage all the people and all the things and all the whatever, because that is just something that's difficult. Every time I see something come up and I feel overwhelmed, I start thinking in terms of systems. What system can I create to make this more efficient? I know Pam's the same way because we're in another business that we do together. And every time we're talking through something, she's like, I'm writing this down right now because I don't ever want to have to talk about this again. We could just give it to people. And I love that about Pam because she and I think very, very alike in that. It's that if you could create a system, do it. If you can't create a system, it's probably not worth it. Everything get into a rhythm and a system.
And I just want to add, I'm not quite as disciplined as Jihan because she's like, if you know me, I also like a little flexibility. So I'm like, learn the hard way. Okay. But I will share with you. Do I ever slip up and answer a text in the middle of working on a project? I do. Just full transparency. And I will tell you, all it does, and because I'm always observing what I'm doing. I'm always watching because I want to tighten up the system. What it does is it distracts me from the project, just like you spoke about earlier. It takes me longer to get my focus back onto the project. And at least 90% of the time, I don't respond to the text properly. It's not the full answer. I have to go back, send another 3 texts to finish the thought. I have to clean up some part of the communication because it was only half focused. It just doesn't work well. What we're giving you guys really is the secrets to success, the things that we've learned over time and how we have managed to get this so tight, the things that we wish we knew when we started, that we wish we were better at when we started. But do understand, you are going to falter. Just watch when you do that. What was the net effect? Was it efficient communication? Was it efficient completion of the project? Or did it just not serve well? And if it didn't serve well, I think having that awareness will help you to tighten up that ship as you go further.
And please don't strive for perfection. So just like we talked about the floundering and the harry-carry and all that is terrible for business, perfection is just as bad.
Yeah.
It's unachievable. Okay. So you're striving for something you will 100% fail at.
That sounds like a straight talk. Let's do a straight talk on that.
All right. So we're going to finish here. Lesson 2. Okay.
Yeah,
so action steps, make your schedule, find your thriving hours, find your working time. Continue reading Rich Dad Poor Dad. If you haven't finished that, it helps change your mindset so you start to understand the flow of money. We'll be revisiting this as we go through business lessons in the future. We'll keep revisiting those principles. Download the Life Steps app, share it with your customers. If you have customers right now, if you have a team, please share it with your team, and also do a content post. Just start getting familiar with it enough to do a content post. You're not creating a campaign just yet. We'll teach you about campaigns in the future, but for right now, just get used to the lay of the land, the motion, of doing all that. And we'll be back again for lesson 3. So I hope you enjoyed lesson 2. Links will be down here for you to access. Get Notion. I talked about that too. Maybe work with something like that.
Notion.
Yeah, Notion. I know, it's so great. Anyway, thanks, Pam. And
thank you everybody for being here in lesson 2. We look forward to seeing you in lesson 3.
Yay! Take care.
Have a successful day.